Of course I dropped it. Oh, well, I guess I sound good enough. Just move forward as I go. I take it that you guys can all hear me because I can hear myself. So looks like it's all a go. So this is the I Am 8 Wind is Timeless. And this is the Chocolate Mountain Show. Welcome one, welcome all. It all starts with a gentle sadness. I am the holder of the continuous ball game created by the Hero Twins. I am your galactic daddy-o, sitting on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. And where is my... Got wires and everything up here. But I don't see that. That's a bummer. Well, that's a bummer. Just have to take it from there. All right, we got Sebastian. What's happening? Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Conley. Who you got? Floyd or Logan? According to Floyd. Man, it don't count. It ain't nothing but an exhibition, so it don't count. It ain't nothing but theater. Ain't nothing but theater. It's like when Joe Louis had to fight Rocky Marciano because of money. Why would Floyd risk putting one of his titles on the line being as old as he is? I mean, that just doesn't make sense. And those other fights they've all been exhibition fights. Oh, there it is. Should be disappearing. And I'll say this. This has been the second day of kind of using both. Now, I've pretty much washed all the shungite off. A little bit on my ankles. But using, taking my normal medication and using the hemp cream. And, last night I had the shungite a little heavier on. Hands feel pretty strong. So, hate having the mechanic nails. Really not me, but for the safety sake, Checking in the Galactic Patio. Well, thank you. Uh, uh, can we do NBA picks? I want to parlay today. Sebastian, get down. Dang. Hey, Crazy Sarge. Oh, man, thank you for sending that. That is so cool what you've been sending me. That is, I love that kind of thing. Yeah, he says it's only entertainment. Checking on. Thank you, Smoke Toe. What's happening? Derek, yes, I am the hero twin. Thank you. Thank you. Unique breed. What's happening, one and all? Tell me, can y'all hear this shit right here? Can anybody hear that crazy beginning stuff? I can hear it, but I don't know if it's going on. Oh, you hit for 132? Okay. Bad. No, okay. No, you can't hear that. Okay. So it's something I'm not doing right. No, okay. Yeah, it's something I didn't do right to make that transfer over. But the mic is working, so now I can only hear you talk. Okay, that's okay too. So something I didn't do right. But the mic, I got the mic working. Up, down. Is the mic up, down? I mean, I'm sounding pretty decent. Using this new system. Got this little the Monocaster light that Siova had highlighted, and I've been messing with it, and I like it so far. I like it. I've been messing with it. I got to learn a little more how to do it. Obviously, I don't have the special effects coming in, but for just doing the mic up tonight, I'm satisfied with that too. And since I have Crazy Sarge, I do need to add. I know it's here. I'm gonna cry if it's not. Oh, I might have to get up, and I'm all wired up. I'm gonna have to get up. That can't be. Gotta grab something. Oh, there it is. All right. All right. I'm ready to proceed. I've got so much plugged in. But just playing with this thing, trying to figure it out. Just almost. But I did want to. So, okay, everything's falling out. Just let it go. So, yes, yeah. So, Epidite. Okay, so been doing a little more studying on what Crazy Sarge sent me, this skull, this unique skull. So the red part is called pomonite, but the majority green is called epidite. Now, as I said, skulls will tell you names. I mean, they definitely will tell you names. And but let's see. Is it this one? One of them I had saved. Okay, where's that? Oh, here it is. Let's see which one I wanted to use. This one. Yes. All right. So epidite crystallizes in form of needles-like prismatic crystals. The color range is yellow, yellow-green, pistachio, green, brown. This mineral can provide increase to which one attunes to. This short but clear statement shows that epidite is truly a stone to experience in all aspects of one's life. It dispels criticalness, enhances keen perception, stimulates participation in interaction, and supplements personal power. It's also useful to combat dehydration. And so actually it says it can be used as a elixir for softening and smoothing skin. Wow. So but another thing another thing that came up, let's see. Let me see if it's in here on my search. Yes. It has pimonite. And here we go. Well, can't really find. I had a really good about eponite. But basically what it was saying is that this stone is a really good stone that'll resonate with your heart as well. It'll really resonate, and maybe even some feelings of love that you're holding on instead of releasing it. But one thing it suggested is it suggested that you put rose quartz with it as well. It stated that this would amplify, that this is an amplifying stone, which is very interesting, that it will amplify. But it said with the rose quartz, it would greatly amplify the heart energy, and even more if that was something that you were trying to open up. It would open it up even more, working with that. But last night, the first time working with this stone, gosh, I think I just poured my beer too. I didn't even give a blessing to the beer. But anyway, so last night meditating with this, I just, again, I was like, is any name out there? And of course, a name came back. And it's funny, the name it picked was Momo. This is the name that it picked. And so this stone is now going to be known as Momo, because I really didn't have any names preconditioned or anything, but it just kind of came up. Oh my goodness. And I didn't even give the Wonderland, or did I? I'm sorry if I didn't. So Popham, I'm sorry if I didn't say it. And so, so that was a good feeling, a good start last night. And then today, what I did is I brought the rose quartz, because I have a spear, and I put that in my kind of general meditating area. And I brought this in, recondonite, because recondonite, again, is one thing that also will open up the heart as well. So, but thank you, Crazy Sarge, and looking forward to working with it. Oh, hey, Antoine, thank you for joining me. Nothing better than graduating from UConn while simultaneously getting Maxine. Oh, wow. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Sebastian said his goal is to make he wants to make a rack. I can't blame you. Who plays tomorrow? NBA games tomorrow. Yesterday. What about tomorrow? I don't know. Is it ABC or is it who plays tomorrow? Sunday. Here we go. We got Miami. Oh, this one don't have the point spreads though. This is just the basic schedule. They got Miami at Boston. And then so Miami is at Boston, comes on at noon. So 11 where I'm at. And then that's on ESPN as well. And then New York at the Clippers. It's going to be 1:30 my time. So early games. New Orleans at Charlotte. Dallas at Cleveland. Minnesota's at Orlando. Chicago's at Detroit. Phoenix is at the Lakers. And OKC is at Sacramento. One game that stands out is Chicago. I think Chicago is on a 3 or 4 game road trip. I would definitely bet against Chicago, because I think they've been on a road trip, because they played away Saturday. They played away last night too, I think. So that's one game I definitely would think wouldn't make it, is that one, because they've been traveling so much. Miami and Boston is kind of a toss-up. Who needs it more? They're tied. So I'd have to see this point spread. I'm smooth. Thank you for asking. I'm smooth today, of course. Thank you. Oh, wow. They did that, Jeffrey? Interesting. It was smooth. I got about 2 miles walking in. So me and my daughter, it was smooth for us. It was definitely a smooth day for us. Mm. So thank you for asking though. Hey, when did you see the threes from the fake Curry tonight? It's getting worse. I think you are right about him having his own system. I didn't catch his game. God, what channel was games on? I don't have the NBA package, but I wasn't catching anything but the two football games that came early. I was watching what did I watch? I watched the Wild win. The Wild played their last home game tonight. Regular season home game was tonight. The playoffs start next week. So the Wild beat the Ducks, and that might who they end up opening up with. But yeah, he definitely has his own system. That's one thing that I'm pretty sure of. And that's one thing probably to hone in on too, is his system compared to other players. Because it's impossible that you shoot 10 shots and none of them or one of them hit the rim. That's impossible unless you're dunking. But in his system, and again, the thing I learned about the Jerry West shot is that the net had a little bit to do with it too. I saw the same kind of movement on that Jerry West half court shot. It was damn near a shot from the other three. If it had been in today's NBA, it'd have been damn near from the circle of the other three. But the net had a part, and even though it's very glaring and gritty, but you can see the way the energy hits it. But yeah, definitely. Well, I talked about that before. I talked about? Let me get lotion in mine. But I talked about that before. It's a lot of the same propaganda. It's a lot of the same propaganda. And so because of that propaganda, I mean, how can you expect it to be anything different? So we saw that same kind of thing in other cities last summer. So it's summertime. They want people to have a little bit of a panic. They want people to still be on fear programs. I don't know what to do with these damn things. Oh, that's the computer making all that noise too. Oh, so my 6-year-old doesn't like walking after a half mile. She likes to go home. Can you carry me? Well, my daughter rode her bike. That's the whole story. She rode her bike. She has a bike at her mom's, and she has the bike that we just keep putting the seat up, but she can still ride it. And I walked around because we have a car dealership, and it's like a corner dealership, but I cut through it every now and then, which is disrespectful. It's just better to walk around. I thought about it, like, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it is short. But I just was a nice day, enjoying walking, and so we got about 2 miles in, going down and coming back. Ate a lot of fruit today. So just kind of, living how we live, having it smooth as possible. But yeah, that's kind of how my day went. That's how my day went. So don't be surprised by that. I wonder why this doesn't show point spreads. Usually that goes with it. Usually I ask a question, it'll bring the point spreads up. Here we go, fantasy picks. This might have been for today, though. Yeah, this is not for tomorrow. This is. Let's see if USA Today brings up the. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Kicked it out. Okay. Oh well. I mean, if you want to see that, that's the Piston. Yeah, the Bulls game. I would say definitely bet against the Bulls because I think the Bulls are on a 4-game road trip, and they lost the other night. You think the great inflation will happen this year? Yeah, smoke toe. I mean, it can't help but happen. I mean, they've been printing all this money. Yeah, it's kind of in happening in a way. That's why we're seeing some of these goods go up. Yep. Well, thank you, Antoine. Yeah, we're going to try to get out again tomorrow, get some more exercise. Uh, so if the weather should be decent tomorrow. The weather's decent. Let's see, it's supposed to be a little warmer tomorrow, 61. I wore a hoodie and I kind of got a little sweat on. Can't be this cool now. Well, it says it's 46 degrees. I got the window open. It says it's 46 degrees right now. Wow, would have never thought that. I got the window pretty much wide open. I got to remember to shut it. It's pretty cold on my plants. So yeah, we're going to see it. We're definitely going to see it. You know, that's what it appears like. You know, when the news and the government is showing you this stuff, yeah, they're definitely going to fake that. And it's them. You know, that I've talked many times about that Alien, the Alien movie, and the Alien movie leaning towards, you know, showing you that is the aliens was humans. So that's the thing. And that goes back with Hitler and the Bell. I mean, there's a lot of technology that looked like Wizards was kind of playing both sides. So a lot of technology kind of went back and forth. So yes, if the aliens come, it's them. It's NASA. It's definitely going to be NASA. So yeah, that's what they've been prepping you for. They've been sending stuff around the sky to keep your head. Lumber is kind of high now. Well, yeah, new houses being built are feeling that. The houses being built aren't being built, or if they're being built, they cost more because of the lumber. That's why it's better to get a house that's already there. Yeah, fake invasion. Yeah, that's another fear program. You know, another fear program. And you know, the thing that they would want to try to plan then is a type of God complex thing. That's what would come after it. It's like, well, this is what this is, and there's a type of God complex. And, you know, certain folks would look at it as that kind of thing, you know, pressing that. Well, yeah, it'll be a whole holographic manipulation when it comes to the aliens, or be real. Now, it'll probably be a little of both, though. Probably be a little bit of both. As I did a video like last year, the video showed that they was doing a hologram rainbow. They was doing a double rainbow by using a hologram. And the reason why that caught my attention was because I watched another person film one, and what I was seeing was almost identical. And then through the summer, I saw them doing the same kind of thing. And we know in the past, they've used holograms on clouds and stuff, and people would film it and then put it out there. So that stuff's been out there for a minute. But again, they would use a little bit of both, because they would try to have that as the distraction and have some kind of weapons to say, see, we're real. Because that's what people like, well, we don't believe you're real. And somebody bum rush him and the alien just, you know, dissolves him in two or splits him in half. That's the kind of tricks they would try to do. Fear. Again, fear. And the only really alien civilization that they really saying came here was the type of Anunnaki is I guess the most popular of aliens that supposedly came and enslaved the people, or created the people, or were able to lock a soul into a body. So, being that that's one of our histories, I don't know. It doesn't sound appealing. On Friday the 4th, the World Economic Forum is going to have a staged cyber attack simulation of a supply chain. Whoa, interesting. After they play their card, what else do they have? And then the good ones will come and save us, but they'd be truly the evil ones. That's a good point. That could, like, what after? Again, some type of free slaving. I mean, because that's what we pretty much are now, is free slaves in most of the general senses. I mean, people don't realize that. I mean, we pay astronomical taxes, and we support these people that have enslaved us for a number of years. We support their lead over us by the taxes. So, I mean, this is what we face. So, what is the way they always do it, though? At first, they want to show you the invasion, then they want to show you the power. And things won't change automatically. But as you watched, what was it, V? You know, it's the thing like when Pol Pot's group took over Cambodia. In some ways, it's going to be that kind of change for some areas. Some areas will just be a slow little change with their help, their people, or even like with V, I was saying, where they was voting for the aliens. You can vote for your friendly alien. And look at the PSYOP that they did with the Asian brothers and sisters this year. Just with a little bit of PSYOP, showed some kind of abuse. There you go. And they could do the same thing, bring aliens and then people abusing the aliens. And what do they show the aliens always do? They bring something like some cure for something. So see, they're here to help us, but be behind the line, behind the curtains plotting, which probably been going on already. But you see, the Asian thing is probably a setup for that kind of thing. Don't be mad at the aliens. Don't abuse the aliens. I mean, kind of is going on already. The alien attack in the South. So these are kind of the ways new power tries to come in, or the same power trying to hold control. I think Floyd in some ways scared them. I really do. I think they were surprised by the outcry. And in some ways, even though they created it, the response overwhelmed them. And even though, as I've showed here, they set up the looting, they brought the people in to set up the looting, it didn't stop the response where they drove them out of the 3rd precinct. Despite them, again, breaking the windows at auction autos, people go in there and loot, they still put pressure on that police precinct and pushed them out of there with overwhelming numbers. So that would be some way to bring something in to say we got these weapons that can fuck y'all up. So y'all better do what the fuck we say. Well, thanks, Sheets. Thank you for joining me. Division 2 hit. What purpose is charging the outcome on a 2D game? Oh, now Antoine, let me tell you. Okay, let me get into that game. And again, I've been lazy reporting on sports. I really have. But let me tell you how deep this game goes. So this other team, James Madison, now that was the Houston game. Houston ended up winning, I think, right? But the next game was James Madison. Gosh, maybe it was Houston. But Houston came back. They came back and scored 28 points in the 3rd quarter. But this is what the interesting thing was. Yeah, it was James Madison lost. So I might have to relook at the teams. But this is what I should have done a video because I watched it. I watched their call. They did some – okay, so it was 35-38 was the score. 35-38 was the score. James Madison was driving. 3rd down, in field goal range, they run shotgun and run a pass play. Then, so this is going to be a long field goal, giving the other team good field possession. So they call that, he gets sacked. Then they bring in the place kicker to kick the long field goal. He doesn't get near for the tying field goal. And I was like, so you think these games don't matter? If there's a betting line, the game's better. And that play right there just showed you. It just showed that they wanted the other team to win. It became a very sloppy game. It became a very sloppy game too. But that play right there was the same thing with the Brady play. It was the same almost exact script that Atlanta ran against Brady. Drop back deep. That's why I showed that thing on John Elway. I just run the video on John Elway. It was the same scenario again. I just luckily watching some films and caught that. But it was the same scenario, same thing that Cam Newton did, but he did the fumble pick like that, the fumble 6. So the script was right there. Instead of running the ball, getting a couple more yards, putting your normal field goal kicker in there, tying the game up. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. Sam Houston won by 3. They was down by 17. Yeah, they was down by 17. Exactly, Lorenzo. Hey, Lorenzo, thank you for joining me. But yeah, they was down by 17. Yeah, Sam Houston. Right, and they won by 3. Exactly. But that James Madison play showed you. It showed you right there. Didn't make sense to pass there. And even the announcers caught it. I think Andre Ware was one of the announcers, and both of them. Andre tried to play it off to protect the league, but the other guy was like, well, why would you pass there? Why wouldn't you put your other feet? I mean, asking the real questions. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, 50. Yeah, it wasn't even close, but they didn't even put their regular field goal kicker in there. It'd have been a 40-some yarder. Hey, Jay, thank you for the kind words. At least one Buffalo Bills player stands up for himself. I don't know. I love football, but they start to require vaccines to come to games. I probably won't ever watch a game again. Buffalo Bills already requiring vaccines. Yeah, that's interesting. But we saw that coming. I saw that coming too. That doesn't surprise me. But I bet if you sat in the booth, you wouldn't have to have it. So it's just the amount of bread. But sheesh, that is interesting. Buffalo's already requiring it. Now, I was looking at a thing about the National Hockey League, and I don't think I wrote it down. Let's see, did I write this down about the National Hockey League? No. No. No, I didn't write it down. But they were saying something about the players. It was enough hot players because, again, I think the leagues have been playing like just in Canada and here. I don't think they've been playing like crossing the Canadian border because Canada's been closed. So, but it was something I caught about enough players were vaccinated for moving around and playing. So I should have wrote it down. Vegas got them all. Yeah, Vegas got them all. No food, no power, no internet, all part of their great reset to make everything digital. That's from Klaus, chairman. Well, that's what we saw them do to Texas. That's going to be the thing. That's going to be Texas. If it can gamble on it, it matters. Yeah, exactly. If you can gamble on it, it matters. Remember you saying to Vegas? Yeah, it does. Yeah, autumn season will be super sticking time schools, NFL. Ticking time schools, NFL. I don't know how nothing about the game until I saw your videos. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I helped. The Yankees are planning to have segregated seating for vax to non-vax. Didn't I call that last night? Smoking and non-smoking. They're already going to set up smoking and non-smoking. Hey, Overstand Mocha. They're already going to have smoking and non-smoking. It's the same thing. Smoking and non-smoking. It's the same. It is that absolutely the same. Oh, thank you for joining me, Overstand. It's very, very smooth of you. Very smooth to see you tonight. But that's what you should have expected. That's what it's going to be. It's almost they're going to try to outcast, and so that is what is going to be. What is going to be the moving forward is how you're going to live with the shame of not having it. I was just looking at Facebook, a picture of my uncle that lives in Atlanta. My brother lives in Atlanta. And my uncle went whatever year or so with not going over there because of this. And then he proudly put in there, as he took pictures with everyone, that he had 2 times. And so it's safe. Apparently he thinks it's safe. I'll tell you what, though, poked or not poked, here the traffic is back to normal. Happy days are here again. It's people like overnight, just like boom, back on it. So Doe pays a lot. They're already asking like the baseball games. You can already get the booths, the booths. So Expect more. Smoking, non-smoking. That's what it's going to turn into. Hey, Jacory, vax to non-vax. These people will not stop. No, they won't. No, they won't. Jacory, thank you for joining me. Hey, PJ, my man. And 1,000 grand. What do you think about the Lakers dropping so fast? All parts of script to make a big comeback or to a new team to win the finals? Yeah, Edward, that's what it appears. That's kind of what it looks like. New team to pass it on. Does LeBron need to rest another year? I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting because they're barely like in the play-in almost. What is the play-in? 7, 8, 9, something like that. And they're teetering at 6. And so with a week to go? 4, well, maybe 6 games. So maybe a little more than a week. I think it's 5 games from tonight, maybe 4, something like that. It's less than 12. Less than 12 because 12 was of Wednesday, I think. So less than 12. So probably 10 or less. But I still say the biggest ratings earner is the Lakers and the Sixers. So I'm still going to stick with that. They can continue to, but they're going to be in the playoffs. And if they get in the playoffs, but it could be the script like that. I'll say that. The script could be to pass them over and let them rest because of the push of last year, turning around. The next season is going to turn around quick as well. So that's possibly a scenario to let them rest. But more than likely, LeBron's age, they're going to try to milk that cow because he still is their breadwinner. And that's what it goes by, is who's selling the merch, who's going to make the advertisers pay the most. And then LeBron movie coming out, he's going to have all that going. So I think all of it is going to come into to him. But we'll see. It's hard to say. They're always, hey, Valerie, thank you for going. This play, they play 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, and they make them play 2 extra games. And that's to beat them teams up. Valerie, so nice to see you. Yeah, Lorenzo, yeah. So I think long as the Lakers stay above that, because they, what would it be? Then they're playing team, but still the Lakers would be, play 4, right? 6 and 4. Isn't that the way it would be? 6 and 4, something like that. So I think they'll be all right. You think they want it? Summer, winter. Yeah, that was kind of the play that we saw down in Texas, Jeffrey. But, I mean, people just have to be prepared for either. That's all. Either way, be prepared. Where did I put that stuff? Oh. I guess I lost it. Oh, there it is. Hiding stuff. So if you're prepared for either, that's what I would say. Be prepared for either. But I'm pretty sure the Texas thing is going to be for the Guns next year. The Lakers have dropped to the 7th spot, Edward. Okay, because I was watching SportsCenter and I thought they said 6. Yeah, I was just listening to SportsCenter. I just thought they said 6, but that could have been from earlier in the day. It stopped because AFCs can finish where they started. I get you. LeBron been in the news every day lately. Where they all started, yeah. Lakers dropped to 7. That must have been an early day. I heard they were 6. Okay. Especially if they lost tonight. But, I didn't catch any games in my area. So, yeah, not that big exciting here. The Wizards did all season long, and they look scary all of a sudden. That is a interesting thing. I still don't think they'll ever give Westbrook a win. But, yes, they have definitely turned the juice on with them, with Westbrook. His style of game really is a forced kind of game, especially his rebounding. I mean, come on, this dude is really getting 20 rebounds. And we've seen film of him in the past where other people let him get the rebounds, both teams. There's been film people put out there and say, watch how they manipulate him getting the rebounds. And so you'll see where both teams are kind of letting that go. And that is the closest thing where we have to a true script, as you see him getting 20 rebounds. And all of a sudden he's the pinball wizard, dishing dimes to everybody, the pinball wizard. So it shows you how they've picked this up to give them some real juice, some real popularity, to put what few butts they can get in the seats, to make it like the unknown. But again, I don't think Westbrook will ever be a champion. I just don't see it. That's why I would not pick Brooklyn, because I don't see it ever giving to Harding. Maybe if Harding is hurt and doesn't play, very possibly they could have a run at it. But with him healthy, they're not going to let him win. They're not going to let him win. And I'll tell you like this, I'm wondering if they're going to even let the Bucks win in his way of playing. Because he can't really shoot. But Zion can't shoot. But Zion's got a little more handles. I mean, Zion played here. Again, he didn't shoot any threes. He didn't shoot anything but layups. Anything but layups against the Timberwolves. And had a bunch of points. And then Edwards did a game where he scored 42. And again, a lazy report, and I should have reported it. And showing his manipulated shots. Because that's what they showed. They went over his game, and you could see the manipulated shots. And then again, sometimes I just get lazy and like, what is the point of the sports? All of a sudden, Westbrook can play. What's the saying? The eighth seed could lose. The seventh, then they will play 9 or 10 winner. If the eighth seed beats one of them, then they started where they finished. Exactly. And they're going to be a little more worn out. And worn out. Started where they finished and more worn out. Yep. Because it beats them up. Having to play 2 extra games. Or Team City. Because you're going right back into another series. And the season helps you with that. Sometimes the season you do have series games. A lot more this year. More series games. Still just think the most money, the most advertisement is still going to be the Lakers Sixers. And perhaps they even push the Sixers in. I could see that. There's a lot of positives with the Sixers, especially having Doc. What's his name? Embiid, with him getting off the commercials like Shaq did and just playing ball this year. They could turn it for him. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. But the LeBron train, again, that's their cash cow. And I still don't think he's going to be treated less than Jordan. So that I wouldn't be surprised if he won it again. Hey, Anish, thank you for joining me. Have you seen on the and it just been and this just in, bees are the cure for all the colds. Seriously, on the news. Interesting. Bees are a very marvelous creature. Very sophisticated. And a system that is repeated over and over again. I mean, they're very in tune to nature. And so they are, just by their daily activity of collecting for themselves, they help so many others. And you're talking about an animal built service to others. That is power pack there. And we know that they need all the help we can give them. There's so many attacks on their environment. This GMO seed stuff affects them. And they said one of the worst things was the cell phones for them. The electric magnetics that they depend on to go their routes and back. Some of the cell phones disrupted some of that. So you find a lot of them dying, a lot of them falling up. So we have to take care of them. Give them. I think one of the best things in the summer is the little marble thing, like going to the Dollar Tree and or wherever you have Family Dollar, whatever, and get the marbles and put the marbles in a little bucket and have something where the bees could get dips in water. I think that's a good thing just to help them out. Or even like with the hummingbirds, have a hummingbird feeder. There's really beautiful little things that you'll just catch them flickering. Probably some of the tales of fairies is about hummingbirds as well. Just the way they move. They move like almost no other bird can move. And so that's how, if you imagine a fairy could move, it would move very much like that, being around the same size. So, yeah, I saw it. He was very stiff, but on the other hand, he's an actor. He's an actor picked. These cats don't be rich like that. They pick these faces. This is what LeBron wanted last year. He doesn't want. Yeah, LeBron wanted that last year, exactly. And they're gonna keep them out of it. They ain't gonna play in that shit. You can believe that. They're gonna be above that. They ain't gonna make LeBron play them extra games. They're also favoring. Yeah, Edward, I caught that too. And I just don't, as much, okay, I'll say this, as much as they like the European players, they don't see the European players aren't necessarily for TV. They're more for the live games, the home games. They're not necessarily for TV. They are for butts in the seats. So on the TV audience, he's not going to generate more money advertising than LeBron. He's not. Now, will they give him? Now look at what they've done in the past few years. They've given people that didn't win the title the MVPs. I think Curry was the last MVP of the league that won a title. So these other cats, when Harden got it, he wasn't winning. Westbrook won it, he didn't win. So Joker gonna win the MVP, but he ain't gonna win the title. I don't think they're gonna let him win the title. Austin Rivers ain't Murray. He is not Murray. That was a big loss. And it even made me wonder, is that a real injury? Because it was so unnecessary that his play wasn't going to help him win. So, I don't know. I'm just looking at this equipment, trying to see how I mess with it. It should be integrated in here, but I didn't do something. I've seen fairies on video flying around someone's head. Do most of the people have fairies? That is a hard energy to tap into. Most young people do more than old people. I met a lady in Kalamazoo that runs a crystal spiritual shop, and she said she could tap into it a little bit too. It's kind of fascinating. I wish I'd had a little more time to rap to her, but she was kind of fascinating too. But so a lot of people lose that. But again, water energies or people with affiliation with water type of spirits, because again, that was part of their areas, was near trees, waterways, kind of a protecting, helping, cleaning of the waters. But there are still adults that have those sensitivities and still can, I've said that the experience I had a couple of weeks ago, I faced the duality. I was in a green kind of lush area, and it was a beautiful green like fairy sitting in a tree rapping to me. And then when I turned around, went the other way, it was kind of like a gray forest, like almost late fall, early winter, the gray kind of forest, and it was a male fairy, But I talk about fairies a lot. And actually, that's what they were kind of like thanking me for that. Now, so I don't judge it good or evil. It might be people that could benefit from that. So that is on you. That is on you. So there are people that have a sensitivity to that, though, definitely. Social media, KD and LBJ both in trouble. He seems very soft.
Hey, H inside. What type of weed do you like? A win, for example, strong taste. Have you heard of strain? Star Wag. Do you like that? I've never heard of that. Star Dog. I think I have. I think I just got all my crumble is gone. My connect is gone, but I still have some. What is it called? Gorilla Glue Shatter. I still got some Gorilla Glue Shatter. So that's keeping me going these days. So, I mean, anytime you go to the type of waxes, you get a more general THC taste of what the weed tastes like. So, I was around somebody that smoked a blunt the other day. I can't mess with them blunts. Got Mother's Day duty in a few hours, so hey, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Um, I hope your mother has a joyous Mother Days, and everybody. I think everybody. I hope everybody's mother has a joyous day tomorrow. That you can love the divine feminine. So yeah, age inside. That's kind of what I'm into. I really can't do flour anymore. That shit's too harsh. Not even in a bong full of water, full of ice. That is shit's too harsh. I picked somebody up from the hospital and took them home, and first thing they did when they went home is rolled a fat blunt. Well, no, they didn't. She's really stingy on her weed, so she rolls the thinnest blunts. But I guess she gets off. She's like, "Do you want some of this?" I like, "No, thank you. That is harsh." She's like, "Yeah, I need to quit the blunts." I gotta giggle, but helped her out. No problem, helping her out. Would you smoke purple Urkel? I don't know. I don't know what that is. You'd have to hit me to that. I'm not sure what that is. It's extremely strong, maybe. Missy my mom, I feel you. Yes. For all of you that, your divine feminine has passed, you can still put the energy into the tomorrow or right now, the end of the today. You can still put your energy. It's one day where they will receive it. So if you have love like that out there, definitely send love. It doesn't mean that you can't be involved in the love that's going to be tomorrow. By all means, you are still part of it. Just know that, and that's the thing. Like if you have altars and stuff, this would be a day to change, like what you're giving the divine feminine. Change the altar, giving them something new. So why not you be able to participate? Apparently smoking it is the worst. Steve Urkel weed. Oh no, I haven't had that, James. What's the healthiest way to consume cannabis? I heard infusion in oils, and I heard in vapes. Probably edibles. Edibles. Like I was getting this butter that was just as high concentrate as the wax. The butter, you could just put it in coffee, or you could put it on anything that you could melt the butter. You just had to really melt the butter, and you could put it in anything. That's the easiest way. And a lot of when you get it in that kind of high dosage, it's enough. It's more than enough. It's cool just to chew on something and then have a nice little buzz. So I'm just leery because some people tried to poison me with that shit. So I'm leery of that shit too. But that was my own fault. Yeah, smoking in some ways is just the Joey White and Snoops are pursuing. That's weed that Joey White, Steve Urkel, and Snoop are pursuing. Not really, Jeffrey. It just depends. It would be better to have a concentrate. If you just put the weed in there, it's really not going to give you any balance. I was about to say maybe put cannabis in it, but cannabis damn near costs as much as the real weed. Cannabis ain't cheap. The CBD, the CBD, excuse me, not the cannabis, but the CBD flower is just as expensive. It's not really that different. So, but people that like smoking, like in a joint or like, bong, whatever. But it's too harsh for me. It's like my big pen is just too much. But I might be hooking something up to make it a little easier on me. I mean, you could do it high infuse. High infuse. Oh, Mr. Head said high infuse. Do you mean someone poisoned you? What happened? Yeah, somebody gave me some bad edibles. Yeah, somebody had gave me some bad edible. And so they were trying to poison me. But I have a high tolerance. And so I just had fun with it. But they definitely tried to poison me. Definitely tried to poison me. And I admit, Awakened One helped me too. She helped me. Um, so she kind of helped me through it. But yeah, it was definitely attacked. It was definitely attacked. For one reason or another, I really don't know. You know, I thought these people was cool with me. Dating one girl, and this is her friend. And then I get poisoned, and I don't see neither one of them. They don't answer their phones. So they was probably witches, because I've had to deal with witches here in Minnesota, and that's what I'm guessing. They was some type of witches. And for some reason, some of the witches here don't dig me. So I don't know what I said to make the Minnesota witches, and I didn't even say nothing to them. I'll say this. It used to be some witches that lived next to me, and I had places where there's ley lines on the property. And so I would go out there when I planted, when I planted gays, and these witches was always coming, trying to knock me off the spot. And I don't mean, trying to run me over, but I'm saying coming home, having to park where I'm, it was obvious that these witches was trying to throw that kind of rhythm off. And so there's something here that witches, I don't know. Something here witches don't like me. Most states are, though. It's a matter, like now, I said this last night or night before, now that South Dakota is legal, it's a matter of time here. We're real close to South Dakota. Real close. Well, like I was watching this thing about the caves in Slavia. Used to be called Slovakia, but I think it's called Slavia now. And it's the biggest cave system in the world. And they found those kinds of little puppy dragons, they call them. And, these things that can't hold cancer, and yet they live in an environment with no light. And that's inner Earth. You feel me? And of course, they trying to figure them things out. This is how cold the people are. They've got some of them things in aquarium in the damn cave. So they're experimenting on the damn things in their home environment. They're like, well, this is the first time one of them laid eggs in an aquarium. They are down there in the goddamn caves where these things live. But yet they got them in a goddamn aquarium. So they can see where they're supposed to be, but they can't be where they're supposed to be because these motherfuckers want to experiment. Oh, let me tell you another thing on that. Did you catch where they saying they trying to show you mushrooms on Mars? Did y'all see that shit? Remember what I was saying? If there is some shit up there, they already claim a docket of a discovery. You can believe, you can consider that these motherfuckers putting shit in the dirt up there if they in there. They're trying to see what the shit would work. What shit would work in the dirt. Them things is up there claiming who owns what. And again, the Catholic Church thinks they own everything in the universe, which is against universal law. And they know that. That's why I know they're not up there, because that's against universal law too. So that's a distraction. I asked the dude, was they going to outlaw these kind of cigars? These acid. So you didn't know. Edward says Kerry had 11 threes, scored 40 and 3/4, won by 39. Wow. Not surprised. 49. Not surprised. What do you think of the tarot cards? I know a witch that's done mine a few times. I mean, I got just right here 1, 2, Okay, 2, 3. So this book I got is basically the same thing. 3 books about the cards. So in the Awakened one, when I have her on, she reads cards to people. So yeah, it is a way. It is a way. Not the only way, but it is a way. So yeah, it's a way. Connecticut is legal now. Wow, I saw it. I didn't see it. The creatures are gigantic, and they seem to cross over in our realm every now and then. Then they blow them up and make movies about them. The Tuscany event was a giant horse and rider. Interesting. Creatures are gigantic, and they seem to cross over. In your whole life, Awen, has anything major happened the first week of May in your whole life? Yeah. Tornado. When I lived in Michigan, after my freshman year, a major tornado hit Kalamazoo, Michigan. I went to Western Michigan and hooped. That was, in shape. We just come off spring break, so I'm in shape. So I'm hooping, and we stopped by a local store that gave us free beer, and we were smoking weed in front of my house, drinking beer in the car. And my father knocks on the window and says, and this was May 5th of 80, May 5th of 80. And my father knocks on the windows and says, you guys probably need to come in. There's a tornado coming. And so my friends went in the house. I stayed out, and I watched the tornado. Was literally block away. My friends lived almost a full block away. And I watched the tornado come, and I watched it go by. And again, I'm a block away, and just it sounds somewhat like a train, but not as much from where I was. And I watched it go by. And then I waited, and I got my friends. I said, let's go see this. And I just remember walking up, and we would cut through this one backyard to get to one of my best friend's house. And as we walk up the street, we start seeing debris. Debris freaking everywhere. And the more when I go into this backyard, I look up into one of my best friend's house, and his bedroom is annihilated. It's blown away. His bedroom is blown away. And I'm looking at this neighborhood that's literally a block away, and all these houses are just blown like they've been hit by bombs. They're literally like for 8 blocks. 8 blocks that hit the neighborhood, bounced, because Kalamazoo is kind of like a hilly little area, parts of it, then went downtown. And when it went downtown, it was just, it devastated some big buildings. This old building that was 5 stories, it knocked the complete back off the building. Like it tore the back off of this building. Left the rest of it standing, but the back of it tore off. So that happened in early May. Yep, that did. Cinco de Mayo. Back then. So yeah, Mushrooms and Mars. So they got Mari La Genie Princess. You saw them on Saturday Night Live. Subscribe to Gaia Girl and you will see the video. Okay, bet. Okay, get out of here before I karate kick you, baby. Karate kick you. I don't know what I'm doing. This thing is working. The mic's working. I don't think I can get music to work. I think if you heard music, it would be not through there, but let's see. No, I don't want that. Let's see. It's not coming through the headphone. All right. No, it's not coming through the right place. Well, I got one part of it working, so I guess that's a positive. What For everyone turning to 8-Wind Chocolate Mountain Show should always be aware of this. The first week in May of the future, I see something that changed my life. It may do the same for you. All right. Outstanding. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was interesting, and I just remember walking and seeing all the devastation. Like, there's this church we used to play basketball in, and it tore the whole the roof off the church, and yeah, devastated the church. They rebuilt it and everything. But I remember walking, and I'm hearing somebody calling my college name, and it took me for a minute. And then they called me, and it was the sports editor for our local paper, and a guy named Jack Moss that he loved my family, and he put me in the paper that, like, the next day after the tornado thing, he ended up putting me in the paper, said I'd come home after having again, I was redshirted pretty much my freshman year, but I hung in there, but seeing him. But it was just devastated. It really was devastated. It was one house. It was two houses that was interesting, because there was a house like now it's all houses, but it used to be old cornfield. I used to take chicks in these cornfields and just throw blankets down and have my own little thing. But there was two houses that were against the cornfields, but like a field apart. It tore this house down, and then it hit this house and only left the garage standing. Do you understand? Only the garage was standing. This was back when, 1-car garages, 2-car garages, one garage. But it tore down the house, but left the support that held up the garage door. That's crazy. And then they painted on the door, Gone with the Wind. But it jumped. But this is another thing that was interesting. There was a family, long as I knew, this family gave out big candy bars. Back then, these was the dollar candy bars, but they gave out big candy bars. Long as I can remember, that house wasn't hit, and that was one of the nicer houses on the block. It skipped over that house, because my friends lived like 1 or 2 houses away from that house, and their house got, again, my friend's bedroom. I'm walking by and I'm looking up in his bedroom, exposed. But our house, we lived a block away. We was fine. We didn't lose power or anything. So we was lucky, but it was that close. We wasn't in the path. But yeah, that's interesting that you said that. I'll pay attention for the maze from now on. Thank you for that. They used 30 megatons of TNT to blow them up. Wow. You heard about in the last week, they found it 3 pieces. Interesting. Could be, Jeff. Heard that. And bigger than the Godzilla. Okay, I guess I didn't answer your question earlier. I mean, I was kind of spoofing when I was talking about that stuff. I was just kind of playing. But there's a lot of strange things. Again, when somebody was saying reality kind of merging, that could be very possible. Very possible. Very, very possible. So that's what I see more than a lot of these other things. It's like if the 3 horsemen do come through this reality, it's going to be a good thing for the melanated people, be it whoever they are. I mean, that ain't nothing to fear. That's definitely not nothing to fear, because the end of the world is the end of the people that control. To them, that's the end of the world. The controllers that control the world, if they ever stop controlling, would be the end of the world to them. They would rather, what did they show you in Planet of the Apes? They would rather blow the world up than share it and share the resources. And I'll say this, when I hear Jordan Crawford and Zach both talk about the Jesuits, that shows you they're both blocking for somebody else. So I say it, I'll stand on that. And that old man doing the same, spitting the same spew that Brother Zach's spitting about the Jesuits. Yeah, we know the real thing. Yep. All conventions. We know we're not in Kansas. Yeah, too fast. Blow the world up instead of sharing. Oh yeah, that's Planet of the Apes. The first one, I think, the original first Planet of the Apes. They would rather blow it up. Maybe it was number two. But yeah, they at the end, I think that might be number one with Charleston Heston. They would rather blow it up than share it. So anybody ever remember that? And that's going to be the thing to stop. Is stop them from destroying it whichever way you can. Because even if you take this as just an illusion and you can break through the illusion, there's still a job out there to do, because they are still living without the illusion as well. They might have to move different without the illusion, but they're still there. And so the thing is, if you break through, still do your work. And say the ones that are slaving souls possibly still need to be stopped, because they're working out of this. They're working using this. That's why I've said before, like, we think this is a whole world and whole universe. And as Animal House said, our galaxy could be in somebody's fingernail. And from me personally experiencing living in Brahma's tear ducts, how it's not hard for a whole world to be on another being. But this is, they're taking advantage. So, I'm going to do the divination now. So we're 13 platoons, 0 cartoons, 8 tunes. We are 9 unal, and we're at kin 1. And kin 1 is always alligator. It's always alligator. This is the Mayan. That is the Mayan fractal. And alligator is also Emix, source of life, dragon, primal water, blood, nutrients, breast, mother energy, power of birthing. And in the Toltec oracle, it is Shoto, or flower. In this card image, we see the open superior jaw of a dragon, poised to devour Toltec, who is at the right. But the dragon does not signify only the possible destruction of the Toltec. The nurturing part of the dragon is represented by the breast, the archetypical representation of nurturing of life that is located right below its eye. The Toltec on the right is not afraid, but is offering the dragon some fruit as a gesture of friendship. In the upper right corner, a human being is entering into the dragon, representing both the risk of not knowing how to deal with the dragon and the return to Earth to start all over again. The classic metaphor of the dragon is that it may destroy you if you try to kill it, or it may take you on flight and share its powers with you if you learn how to turn it into a friend. From the Toltec point of view, in no case would killing the dragon be a good medicine, because the aim of the Toltec culture was integration of opposites, not a battle between them. The dragon is a sacred symbol of that. From that perspective, the Subakato, the dragon, is your energy manifested through your personal qualities and behavior. The energy of the dragon can serve either your talents or your weaknesses. It usually works in both ways. But the dragon is a single entity. It is just the energy. It is telling you that both sides of yourself, what you like and what you don't like, are made of the same energy. Therefore, these two opposites that seem to constitute the core of your conflict are connected with the bottom line level of energy. The revelation of the dragon is a major realization about the process of life and the soul development. It lets you see what you hate about yourself and what you love about yourself are not disconnected things, but somewhat they are the same. If you make friends with your dragon, you will learn to transmute your weaknesses into your strength. By embracing the dragon, you don't waste its energy trying to reject it. Consider this: the only source of energy for you to build your strength is the energy you have been spending in your weakness and in your constant useless rejection of them. Your strength may be your weakness, and your weakness may be your strength. Think about a person who is caring with others. He has considered his own needs to be secondary. In that particular moment, that may seem fine, but as time goes by, not taking care of his own needs takes its toll, filling his soul with sadness, disappointment, and resentment. Both traits, the virtue of caring for others and the flaw of not taking care of your own needs, are very similar behavior patterns that come from the same source. It is this case, the willingness to help others. What makes the difference between the virtue and the flaw is intensity, in which the quality is to be expressed. Now think about someone who is very determined and strong-willed and succeeds in overcoming any obstacle, which is a great talent. Compare that to someone who is authoritarian and is so obsessed with achieving certain results, he or she never cares about other people's opinions or feelings, which could be a problem. That's interesting part is that both traits are very similar way of using energy. And again, it is a level of intensity that tips the balance to the side of the strength, the side of the weakness. The Spiccato card is inviting you to notice how your weakness may be hiding the talent that you're not taking advantage of by changing the intensity or the manner in which you manifest that energy. A weakness may be turned into a talent. The dragon is also showing you that if you go to extremes, the use of your talent, they may turn a weakness and lead you into failure. So, am I thinking about the same kind of thoughts again and again? What are my most repetitive thoughts? What is the energy behind my repetitive thoughts? What kind of thinking should I practice to change my negative thought patterns? Do I devote enough time to deep meditation about my life? Have I talked with my own heart what I'm doing lately? What activities can I bring into my life that will help my mind be at ease? What emotions are currently most dominant for me? How am I handling that? How am I representing them or letting them flow? Am I indulging in self-pity or arrogance? What activities can I engage in to help offset energy wasting emotions? If I suffer from not expressing what I feel, to whom should I start expressing my emotions? So, again, for Mother's Day, I'd like to reach that out to everybody and send love to the divine feminine. And I hope everybody has that in their heart to do the same thing. Hope everybody feels the same. What did I miss? Actually, they said, well, here we go. Yeah, I remember the people that lived underground with masks instead of sharing. Actually, they said they would try to kill everyone with a stage of apocalypse, but keep the world resources intact. That's the neutron bomb. Remember the neutron bomb, Edward? The neutron bomb was a bomb that would kill people, but wouldn't blow the buildings down. Remember that? The neutron bomb would kill people, but wouldn't blow the buildings down. Byzantine Warrior, thank you for joining me. I'd love to know what Admiral Burrow really saw in his expedition and why the military sent a naval task force to Antarctica after that. Yeah, it's kind of fascinating. It's one of the areas that's hard to send your consciousness around. What a time to be alive. Yay and yikes. Yes, overstand. Yes. Yep. Yay and yikes at the same time. Exactly. Personally, I don't think too fast for death. Personally, I don't think the Great Reset is how we think about it. There isn't anything great about it. There won't be any great revolution, just a world with new laws. Too fast for death. I feel you. I really do there. I really feel you there. I know we did a whole show on the film Tenet, but I'm just understanding the film after watching it well over 30 times. The clue is right in the beginning of the movie. It is. Yeah, you got to pay attention. You got to catch, not throwing it, but you got to catch the first scene and understand it. And then it's building from there. So, yeah, a lot of that became, but the fighting is what caught me. It was like all the counters. It was like the guy was fighting him in a counter way. So I was like, this is him fighting himself. When I saw the counters so close together, I was like, yeah, this is him fighting himself. I caught that in the beginning. Great for them, but bad for humanity. Yeah, I love Tenet. I really did. Yeah, we did a nice breakdown of that. I heard that the bomb didn't know how it worked. Yeah, the neutron bomb, that's what they called it, where it would kill people and not blow buildings down. Because a lot of, what they told you in Hiroshima was the fireball that came through blew the buildings down. So they supposedly, Admiral Burr saw the Nazis. We're already slaves, though. So how are they going to make us more slaves? We're already slaves. So what, they're going to make us more slaves? I mean, yeah, I've got an apartment, but this is prison in every way, shape, and form, basically. Yeah, I can drive anywhere. And I mean, the prison is gaining popularity because with this new thing, they're already trying to say, well, yes, you're in free prison. And then smoking, non-smoking that they're going to bring back up. It's going to make it interesting because, if people feel that they don't want to see me because I'm not playing the game, that's fine. Because that's what it's going to boil down to. Did you play the game? Why didn't you play the game? There's nothing more than the game. The lottery has to be on. There's always been a lottery. He didn't play the game. Hey, you guys, this guy right here is walking down the street. He didn't play the game. Same thing that they said other people prosecuted. You know how they like to use that shit. And now the smoking, non-smoking makes more sense than it used to make, doesn't it? What they were setting you up for. I mean, they really made you think that you got away from smoking because you sat in a different part of the restaurant. But the point was, motherfuckers shouldn't smoke indoors unless you at the crib. And that's my problem with dating chicks that smoke cigarettes. It's like, how I'm supposed to go in your house if you can smoke cigarettes in your house? My clothes are going to smell like that. And I'm very peculiar about my shit. It's like some of this shit is dry clean only shit. So, because I come visit you, I got to fucking dry clean my clothes. I'm just saying. Hey, when in the movies, they always show us humanity fights back and win. But evil always finds a way. Yeah, Edward, it does. Have you ever researched the different voyages people have done to circumvent the Earth? So strange when they cross the Atlantic, there's never no footage shown. Yeah, that Atlantic shit, Dane's latest movie, Dane Calloway's latest show was talking about that shit. I still don't really believe Columbus and them crossed the Atlantic. It is too, I don't know. I still think they came around. It'd have been easier. It would have took longer, but it'd have been easier. So the way was the northern route. It was never to go across that way. That's why that slave shit was some bullshit people made up. When in plain sight, and you see pictures of Columbus, and Columbus took motherfuckers back to fucking Spain. He took 20, only 5 lived. But he took 20. And most of them, I think 1 or 2 went back. They sent them back to America, but almost all of them died. They couldn't live around this shit. This is a fucking shithole over in Europe. They try to tell you that their gonorrhea was starting in America. It's bullshit. It wasn't America, it was fucking them sheep. They wasn't fucking sheep in America. So the real Brokeback Mountain. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Good. Thank you, Overstand. Have you ever researched? Oh yeah, this shit ain't not going to go well. Thank you, Overstand. Well, Tasha put a picture up on Facebook, Tasha Z, and it showed a turtle, like one of them 100 or 200 year old turtles. He was asleep, he was cold and rainy season. He was asleep, but when he woke up, he had like about 10 inches of dirt, and the shit was starting to grow on his back, and that's probably where it comes from. Seeing that kind of thing, the turtles coming out, these giant turtles coming out of hibernation. And they were in hibernation so long that the shit, grew on their back. Spring came in, and, these mugs are still down there, and they slow their heartbeats. So that's where a lot of that comes from. And then you can look at Turtle Island in the North America. You can see where the tail and the body is shaped if you look at the Americas. So that's another part of it. Oh, the terrapin, yes. With elephants. Yep, with elephants on some of them. Yeah, the terrapin. Straight bulls. I always question those tails. Yeah, they do show the turtle holding up the world a lot of times. Turtles all the way down. There you go, Bazantine. Yertle the turtle. But I mean, the rabbit against the hare. That is a very telling tale. Slow and steady, being consistent. That's what it tried to tell you. The rabbit and the hare try to tell you be solid. You just be solid on your quest. It doesn't matter how quick you do your quest. It just means that the quest needs to be done. So that's the beautiful thing about that. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. Oh, okay. I know what that is. I want to mess with this thing. But I'm glad people are watching, but I want to mess with this thing and get some practice on it. But I'll do that at the end. I don't plan on going too much further. Just a little, really love the divine feminine energy that's going to be going. Even though it's produced by the state, it's still a thing that in your heart you can have love for. And remember that if you have children or there's children that you influence, by showing the respect and love for your mother, the children can watch you, and then they can respect and love their mothers as well, because you are a solid influence on them. So remember that the way, and Mother's Day should be every day. Shouldn't be just one time. It should be every day. It's the way you just treat women. Oh, stacking turtles like the Tower of Babel. I just realized that. Yeah, too fast. You see that too. That seems to be a corruption of the energy. Dr. Sleuth low key dropping knowledge. I mean, his story about killing all the trees is what was done in North America, and that's hard to argue, because he breaks it all the way down. That energy, the energy of the trees, and so that's what happened here. They killed the trees. They went to war against the trees. The buffalo and the trees. They killed them both. Within 100 years, they killed almost all of it. The buffaloes and the trees. In 100 and some years, they killed both of them almost thoroughly. The geology is also the biology. The earth we live on is made up of giant and titanic creatures. We live on them. Mud fossils, tidal loaded with them, not just rocks. Deep. Preach. I mean, I don't know about a lot of creatures. I would say that we live on a beam. There's no doubt about that. The same thing with the water. The other one where they're children. But yeah, and this thing was so big, yes, that other big beings could definitely have lived and perished in the same times. Again, I talk about when the beings came out of the trees, that was some of the giants, because the trees were so large that they didn't understand that once they devastated a lot of those trees during the war, when they was forced to come on land, the people living on the ground didn't realize how big these beings were once they came out of the trees. And so even though the ground dwellers were into collecting the minerals and trying to make money off the minerals by devastating the trees, it came back to make their lives even worse. Where those type of beings had to take even more of a cover. That's where you get the stories, a lot of the stories of the little people. What do they try to tell you? That, the dinosaurs was living and the things with a backbone had to go around at night. Isn't that what they tell you? The Darwinism bullshit, that dinosaur shit. Water should taste soft. There's such a beautifulness of soft water that, I don't know. Like elephants, butts in elephant rock in Switzerland's gigantic elephant turned to rock and became part of the land. But in New Mexico, I heard about the hero twins from a channel called Mud Fossil. Yeah, heard you mention them. You know that stuff. Yeah, I know about the hero twins. It goes back to the hero twins. It goes back to actually their father. And their father and their uncle were playing the continuous ball game. Again, it was brothers. And by playing the continuous ball game, they were rocking the world so much that one of the gods that lived under the earth was pissed. It was like, what are they doing up there disturbing me? Here I am just in my inner earth, and I'm just chilling, and my inner earth is getting rocked by these people playing this game. So they brought them down, and they played the continuous ball game with the gods against the two original brothers. And the brothers lose, and brothers get both of their heads cut off, and one's thrown basically into a corn stalk. Well, one of the girls heard all this commotion and saw that the brothers lost, and saw that one of the brothers' heads had grown out of the corn stalk, and she approached him and he skeeted on her. And she didn't really know what to do after that, so she went to his mother's, and because he was stuck in the underworld, and she talked to the mother and convinced her that she was pregnant. And so after convincing her that she was pregnant, she had the children, and the children find the dad's ball equipment. And again, the children find out what happened to their father and their uncle, and they go down there and fight the gods, the ghouls. And one of theirs gets their head cut off, but his brother puts a pumpkin on his head, and they keep going after the ass, and they kill the gods. They bring his father up there, and they plant him in a field, and he is part of the cornfields. But then they have all things that they just defeat. The dad had other children, and they trapped them in a tree so high that they couldn't climb down. The hero twins were so tuned in nature, they would go to a place and the animals come around like, what's going on? Why are you guys here? And they would trick the animals into clearing the area out for them. Part of the Monkey King. One of my experiences being one of the Monkey Kings. And again, they are in the Paul Eval, they talk about the hero twins at one time having to turn themselves into monkeys. Again, ship shaking. Ship shapers. So yeah, I know a little bit about that. I agree. True water should have a natural sweetness. Damn, the little guys just got me in here. Do you remember the Russian documentary called "There Are No Forests on Earth"? It was translated to English and then renamed on Flat Earth. But info's very interesting. Yeah, they're not. I mean, you can just look. It's not. From having the experience of drinking out the water trees, the tree world. Yeah, they've devastated. That is one thing that when the Europeans came over, there are two things that they did against nature: killed all the buffalo, and they devastated the trees. Where just a little small pocket out west exists of real trees. What we see are not real trees. We mostly, look at the way they grow. Like even the mother tree, if you really look at it and what a shrub is, it's growing more like a shrub would grow. The big trees mostly just grow straight up. Now, there are some older trees in Africa that, get so big and stuff, but most of the trees grow giant, and the trees once went into the sky, up into what would be called space. Okay, going to 3 in the Caribbean. Okay, wow, must be beautiful. Can you talk about the Kokopali? I'm heading to bed. Okay, good night. Thank you for joining me. Kokopali. Is that the flute player? Because that name just doesn't ring a bell. Because I haven't really studied that a lot. Here we go. Yeah, the flute player. A fertile deity usually depicted as a hunchback flute player. Often, now I'll say this. I know PNN or PNF, excuse me. He was seeing, I think, a little bit of a wickedness in that. I really don't get that vibe for that information. Looking at and working with the fractals a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. I don't really see the evilness that he sees it. But again, different opinions. So I don't really see a wickedness of this. Again, the music goes into creation. And so the music goes into the universal sounds of creation, because creation can also be considered as a sound. Oh, so much shit freeze. So, and that to me seems like he's playing the universal sound, university vibration. So, and again, that's what I see in the fractal. Well, good night, Edward. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, because I'm going on an hour and a half Sunday morning. So we're not going to go terribly too much longer. So, yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong with that. Showing the universal symbol of music. So, the universal sound. But the trickster, there's a lot of trickster's energy. There's a lot of trickster kind of energies over both childbirth and agriculture. He's also a trickster god. Over human sexuality is often depicted large phallus. Yeah, I see that as well. That it could have that meaning. But overall, dance to your own tune. I mean, I kind of feel that. Yeah, it's like when the mystical traveler plays the flute. The sun comes out and the snow melts. Grass begins to grow. Birds begin to sing with all the animals gathered around to hear his songs. His flute music soothes the earth and makes it ready to receive his love. The magic of his flute will stimulate the mind and soothe the beast. So, and being so into the vibrations, I see that as a positive thing. I don't, So, yeah. He's a trickster, but I don't know if that inherently bad. It's not really bad, because citrine is the same way. Like, I have a poster of this guy painted for me. He lives in Charleston, South Carolina, I think. And he sent me two because it took so long for him to come. He said, well, I'm just sending you two. I'm like, cool. It's like, no, please don't cancel. They got hit with one of the hurricanes. So mail was slow. So I'm like, smooth. So he sent me two. But when I had both citrines, my bigger pieces, they would always knock this poster down. So I'm like, you assholes, quit knocking my damn posters down. But it's that kind of energy that can be part of it as well. So, yeah. When they said, well, I talked last night about the new constellation. There's a new constellation up there that comes from these satellites. He's been sending 30 to 40 satellites every month. So now a lot of the satellites are getting in the way because people are looking through their telescopes and are seeing these satellites, which are almost looking like stars. Again, I talked last night about a constellation of satellites now. So it makes you that is for flat plane to argue with, because now you're saying you're sending this shit up there and it is artificial, but you're saying the shit before then wasn't. But how is the depth seen the same? That's my thing, is how are the depths seen the same? And depth in space almost seems the same for them satellites compared to stars. So that's one thing I don't think they can really answer. So he's sending one right now live. Wow. So yeah, that's a part of it. That is definitely a part of it. You know, in the copper, the water always seems cold too. Sweet and cold. Mm. Wow. Yeah. So it makes, you know, them falling down or something. And remember, now they was so worried about the shit falling from space that the Chinese people sent up. Now they're saying that it went into the Indian Ocean. So you won't get hit over the head of a spaceship. Just you driving, you know, down the highway and this shit just runs into you. Who would you sue? Who would you sue for that kind of thing? So I don't really know. I think I'm going to devote the rest of my show to doing this stuff. I don't really know how to do it. How to integrate it into the system. Guess I just have to play with it. I'll just have to play with it. But it's interesting. Because effects aren't going out. Jack is sending one right. Parcells and Warner von Braun came up with Modern Rocketry, both followers of Crowley for what it's worth. That's a great share. Yeah, I think I've run across that name. My brother has brought that name up before. Yeah, you are, I believe, right about that. I don't know. I do not know how to hook all. I've got the radio. I've got the microphone hooked up. I don't know how to make everything else integrate. I've got to figure it out. But yeah, I don't have a lot more to say tonight. I've been keeping them out about an hour and a half. Well, last night went to almost 3 hours, but a little short because I do have a busy day of travel myself tomorrow. So I'm gonna be up and about. So I'm gonna leave it short. And I just wanted to little different tonight, and just a little short song to the Divine Feminine. So it kind of goes like this: Ain't no mother like the one you've got. No, there is no better. Think about it. To make your mother happy, it doesn't take a lot. She doesn't ask for things, no diamond rings. Her love goes so close, like a hand in a glove, because you know you love her, because there ain't no mother like the one you love. So may you all have fun tomorrow. May you all revel in the divine feminine. May you all be leaders. May you be an example of how to treat the divine feminine tomorrow. May you keep that in your thoughts, that today is about the divine feminine and my connection to it. So this has been Eight Wind. It's timeless. Thank you all. Till we meet again.